Well, welcome back everyone to Monsteros Zoo. My name is Leaf, and it is so great to have you guys back here yet again for another episode. So today, we have quite a considerable episode. I have to give a huge shout out to Tobes for that brick wall right there. It goes along with this build so perfectly. But today we're actually going to be working on our elds deer habitat along with, green peafowl. You guys can probably tell that out from the thumbnail and stuff. I am so excited to get into this build because it turned out so beautiful. Essentially what I wanted to do was make kind of like a ruined Indian kind of style habitat. Very much kind of like Animal Kingdom. I'm going to have a little picture right there for you guys just to see what I'm talking about. So yeah, I really wanted to build for the elds deer and green peafowl because they were done by my good buddy Monsoon. He did such a beautiful job with them, and they really did deserve a little habitat in our little India area. So in case if you guys are new here, this entire kind of area is very much based off of India. It's very much based off of it's the whole story behind it for, all those who haven't watched the last episode. It's going to be very much about talking about from the dry season to the wet season and kind of telling a story within that, like what animals live in which areas that gets a little bit of dry area, those that live in the wet area and stuff like that. And the elds deer, well, they typically go in the middle of the two, same with the green peafowl. So I really just wanted to build the build just for the build, sometimes just gotta build for the build. So today you can probably see what I'm doing over here. What I did off screen, I do apologize, I essentially laid out the entire pathway of where the temple would go, about where the viewing galleries would go and stuff like that. And essentially what I wanted to do after that was bring you guys along with me for the decorating part. A lot of the times I am not the best at planning. My friends often tell me that I'm very awful with planning my zoos. So it was really awesome just to be able to take my time and do that off screen and then bring you guys along for the building journey. So you guys can probably see I'm doing two main things over here. I'm essentially combining the limestone with this beautiful yellowish texture, again very reminiscent of that Animal Kingdom India area, as well as the red bricks to give it a lot of beautiful contrast. And in the end, you guys can already tell from the thumbnail, you could already tell from the community post, it turns out beautifully. Now, what I wanted to also do over here was essentially just use the pieces to my advantage. When you actually do use Tobe's blueprint, it does have this kind of cracked other side to it, and I think that turned out so well for this build in particular, because it does feel very decrepit on that side, and I really wanted to use that. So you guys can already see we're using some very wonderful pieces from the Safari Pack. The Safari Pack is wonderful, not only just for African builds, but for a variety of different builds at that. And this one in particular made really good use of these beautiful fences by Nick. They came out so well. And of course, we need to use as much of the faux rock pack as possible. NDP did such a glorious, beautiful job with it. And it was just really amazing just again building with that. But you guys can see my process right here. It's essentially place down these beautiful walls and then tear them up. It's kind of like cracking off these small little pieces and making it look a lot, well, more broken. Going through the rest of the build as well, making sure the guests aren't really going off in different ways, in different pathways and stuff like that. Again, I apologize if you guys like habitats. This build is more or less just gonna be, guest areas, but I'm very proud of this, and it's so important to integrate guest areas into your zoos, because they're the reason why people come to the zoo to begin with. You gotta build around them. So moving on through here, I really just want to have these beautiful pillars just kind of holding up the entire area as a way to give it a little bit more infrastructure, as well as a little bit of contrast. I have these big versions. I also do some smaller versions later down the line. You'll see those pop up later down the line. And I also go through with as much of those decals as possible. And here's where it gets really fun. I really want to use the new faux rocks as a way to kind of integrate a lot more stuff along the lines of, plaster, along the lines of what may be hiding underneath the rocks, maybe limestone and stuff like that. So we use so much of this. like, dare I say, maybe a little too much, but it comes off so beautiful in the end because it gives it such a torn up feel, especially in an area kind of like where this is supposed to represent. It'd be very arid, it'd be very torn up by the elements because India does alternate between dry and wet seasons, and oftentimes that has a very devastating look on the local architecture. So being able to kind of represent that through your zoo's lens really does help to tell a story of where your guests are going and what they're experiencing. It just all plays into the same card. I'm very much a fan of this kind of immersive storytelling, and it's just something I can't really do with Riverbend. It's something I can't really do with, you know, a lot of my other projects, even Bonita Springs. I love that build so much, but I can't really do the necessary theming to the likes of, like, you know, a San Diego Animal Kingdom level project. So that's essentially what we're able to do over here, and I really want to have this small little guest area back there. I think later down the line we will integrate some aviaries, but I'm just not apt in my skills enough to start to integrate them just yet. I'm very excited to do so though. As of recording this, we're not really sure what the next pack is going to be. If it's aviaries, then that's going to be just even better news for this entire area, I'm going to be completely honest. So also what I wanted to do over here was kind of help the guests stay inside a little bit. So we do give these little, like, viewing areas a little bit more purpose, a little bit more structure. Always give your builds purpose. If you have something sticking up all the way up in the air, make sure it has something that it was originally connecting to, or something that it connects to now, just as a way to really help it feel a lot more solid within the environment. This is all very, like, you know, artistic level stuff, but if you guys do get a good grip on it, maybe we could do like a live stream later and we could do like a little building academy. I don't know, that actually sounds quite fun. Oh my gosh, would you guys be into that? I'd be totally into that. I'm sorry I also, like, never stream. I would love to stream, like, every single day for you guys, but unfortunately, I'm a pretty busy guy, don't really have the time. It's usually all the time going in videos and going making mods. But hey, what can you do? Going through here also, I really want to have this beautiful big tree. I kind of wanted the central, like, park area back there to host this beautiful tree in the back, and I think that came out exceptionally well. And here I am also doing like that viewing gallery over there. I completely lost over that, guys, I'm sorry. Doing some planters as well. Yeah, I'm sorry, I bounce all over the place in my builds. In case if you're new here, that's just my style. I would absolutely love if I could build one piece at a time, but unfortunately, guys, that's just not me. Going through here and also doing a custom planter. If you guys want this on the workshop, just let me know in the comments down below. I could probably blueprint a bunch of this stuff up for you guys so that I'm kind of making by hand. In case if you guys want to use it in your own builds, more than happy to help you guys out. And we also hide some plants in there. So I had that double barrel cactus, and I just hid one of the barrels inside the wall over there. I thought that was kind of a fun move. And we also add a bunch more plants all throughout the area as well, just to give it a little bit more color. Nothing really too crazy. We also hid another cactus right there, but don't tell anyone. Don't tell the cactus police. But what I really wanted to do was integrate some more drier plants in here, because while it is a kind of like older area, you could probably still imply that like cacti would grow pretty well. You would imply that like dry bushes would grow pretty well as well. And that's why I really want to accentuate right there. Also, oh my god, guys, do curbs, okay? Do curbs. It is so worth it. It is such a pain in the ass, but listen, it's worth it in the end. It makes builds pop so much more. It's just one of the best things that Lion has ever taught me. In case you guys don't know, Lion, another wonderful content creator on YouTube. I don't think he's released a video recently. I haven't really seen him in my sub box, but go give him a subscribe if you guys haven't already. He is a wonderful creator. But he really taught me that wonderful little trick right there, and it's been making this entire section, this entire build, really pop up so much more, and I cannot thank him enough for that. But here we kind of go, like, placing all that down, and I really wanted to copy the same color from before. I know we kind of did like a brighter, kind of whiter color on the outside, but within the specific temple area, I wanted to have it be a little bit more different from the other areas within the India area. I know we're having areas within areas. Yo, dog, I heard you like areas. But essentially, I really want to help this part stick out from the rest of the India area. It's nothing too crazy, but I'm very happy with how well it came out. Also, But my favorite part's right there. You can see me start to break up that curbing right there. And I really want to have this small area for guests to kind of explore without being told to actually go there. That's a little thing that I kind of took away from like some other people's builds. None really come to the top of my mind. But in case if you really do have the necessity to explore, you'll be rewarded. It's very much like a Breath of the Wild kind of thing. It's very much like a just general open world RPG thing that I want to bring into my zoo. And it's something that I kind of want to hide in every single corner around the zoo. Like, hey, if you notice that this little off-the-road trap is... Wow. I can't believe I messed that up. I can't believe that this little off-the-road path, yeah, allows you to go to like this alternate viewing platform. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry, my words are not coming out good today, but I really want to have that all around the zoo. I have that with like the dole habitat as well, and once we actually do get started on the elephants, on the rhinos, on the nilgai, on the gaur, we have a lot of animals in this area. I hope you guys like Indian animals, because we're gonna get a lot of them in here. Wouldn't it be so funny if it were an India pack? Oh my god, that'd be wild. But adding some more barriers over here because I don't want guests to fall down onto the service road down there. So we just kind of cover that up with some planting, a little bit of flower beds and whatnot, and we also kind of cover up the top area as well. Just to make sure that guests will like be deterred, even if they do get up there for some godforsaken reason. Also adding in those beautiful bramble bushes as well. I don't really use them too much, but they really do match the vibe of what I'm going for, and I'm pretty happy with that being said. So moving on through here, adding some more curbs. I kind of have like, you know, a little bit of a dead end right there. And you know what? We're finally onto the habitat. Thank God, because I'm sick of talking about theming. So one of the things I really want to do in the habitat was have it be a nice little scenic overlook into this little tiered area. It's very much based off of Animal Kingdom's elds deer habitat. I think it's elds deer, but it could be Bearshinga. Ideally, I would have Bearshinga in here. I think Monsoon is actually working on a Bearshinga mod, so that'd be a wonderful thing to have in there once it actually does come out. But I really want to do something I never do. I wanted to do backstage, but not like the real backstage. I just want to have like backstage holding, because that's something I really want to have throughout this entire zoo. Our doles didn't really need it. Actually, I guess they kind of do. Yeah, I should probably go back and add that in there once I actually do get the chance. But, okay, we'll do that later. We'll do that like another episode. But for the time being, I really just want to have the deer have this beautiful backstage area. And I love how well it came out. I did custom walls. I did custom paneling. They even have like all the brackets in there to make themselves feel a little bit more welcome. And we also have custom doors. The doors came out so well. And you can see me start to make them right here. They are so beautiful. I love how well the mesh kind of works within there, and it's just very simple. It's just a few pieces of log, a couple pieces of log going up and down it with some mesh, one across the board, and it looks wonderful at that. So we have all that mesh in there. It looks very nice, very secure, making sure that our deer don't escape when they're not supposed to. And we also cover up the rest of that area. And you guys saw me add in the deer right there. Hope you guys don't mind if you didn't watch me. If you want to watch me go through and add them all individually and purchasing them from the trade menu, nah, we're not doing that here. I also have a few babies in there. I was able to crank a few out, so that's pretty good. That's something I really want to do throughout this entire zoo, is also get a lot more juveniles in. I really want to have that kind of integration because, you know, a lot of the builds that I have done in the past, they really haven't had any baby animals, and we change out that color. Don't worry, guys. I'm very sick of the, like, that muddy kind of like brownish color. We're done with that. We're moving on to gray. Thank you. But yeah, I really want to integrate a lot more intergenerational, yes, animals. Herds and stuff like that, troops, once we get to primates and stuff. So that'll be something that'll keep on our radar. And I also just play around with the colors a little bit more, make sure it feels a lot more situated within the area, make sure it feels a lot more welcome in there. And we also add some mulch pieces as well, just as a way to kind of break up that kind of, I don't know, stony kind of look to that. Because they are deer, they probably don't want to be walking on stone. They much prefer to walk on like dirt, grass, and stuff like that. So we kind of have that as much as possible throughout the entire area. And we also have this little viewing area, again, rewarding the like guests for going out of their comfort zone and kind of accessing areas that kind of test their imagination and whatnot. And also, one of the key things to keep in mind when you do have themed areas is to also bring a smidge of theming into the habitat. Deer don't really typically do well with, like, climbing structures. They don't really do well with full-fledged theming. But one of the things I did want to have in here were a few walls, kind of reminiscent of the actual guest area that we were building right there. So I have a lot of that set in stone over here, and I think it works pretty well because it's in areas that the deer wouldn't really be obstructed from going, but it also gives a little bit more of the story of the habitat, of the surrounding area, and I think it turns out so well. Also, doing a lot of foliage work over here. I absolutely love Nick's North America foliage pack. It's a frontier pack if you guys are looking for it. I know, very cheeky name. I love it. And we're also doing a dash of periwinkle, a plethora of that's a tongue twister and a half right there. A plethora of periwinkle if I've ever seen any. So we're adding all of that into the habitat right here just as a way to kind of bright it up, because the rest of the colors in here, they're kind of dark and they're kind of pale. Adding some periwinkle in here just gives it a little bit more pop, a little bit more twang, and a little bit more zing. We always got to have a little bit more zing in our habitats. And I think that is pretty much it for the rest of the planting. I think I add some some other clutter in here. I add some weeds and stuff, but that's pretty much it. You guys know how much I love planting in my habitats. Oh yeah, I forgot, I add some palms in here because I remember I started this build and Nick was like, what the hell are you doing? And I'm like, I'm building a San Diego Zoo. And he's like, you gotta have more palms than that, right? So listen, we're going full-fledged with the palms, all right? So we have a lot of those in there, and I think we also do some custom dead trees. You guys can probably see them coming up relatively soon. I'm just adding the tussock grass right now. That is one of my favorite things in the game, just those little pods, those little seed pods that come off of those are always my favorite. And also adding some bamboo back there, because I do want to hide as much backstage as possible. I do want to make sure that this is a completely immersive experience, and I think it turns out pretty well in the end. Here I am working with those dead branches and dead trees, just to really help it feel a lot more solidified within the area, using all the different mix of dead trees and branches and stuff from JoJo's pack. Oh my god, it's so nice. I love these pieces so much. But here we finally are in the B-roll, in the cinematics, so we can finally get a beautiful look at what we've created today. And I really just want to take the time to thank you guys for stopping by as always, just to check out another video. You guys are always amazing, you guys are always supportive, and it's so great to have a community just like you guys. Hope you guys are enjoying this new series, hope you guys are getting excited about the new DLC. That was probably announced the day that this video comes out, maybe the day after, I don't really know. All that being said, guys, one of my favorite reviews is coming up. I can't wait for that. But thank you guys. Yeah, here we go. You get to see the deer run across the habitat. It's beautiful. But thank you guys so much for watching. Again, it's always great to have you guys here. I'm very bad at ending videos, but I'm going to leave now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Have a great one. Bye-bye.